everyone. Megan Purcell here with megsteachingjourney.org, coming to you today with video number 2 of my ESL teaching strategy series. But before we hop in, there's a couple of things I need you to do. So if you haven't already, I want you to hit that subscribe button and subscribe to my channel. And then don't forget to click that little bell button so that way you will be notified when I upload a new video. So let's get started with today's video all about TPR. What is TPR? I'm gonna tell ya. TPR stands for Total Physical Response. And so, to give us a little bit more of an idea what that means, I provided this awesome little whiteboard to tell ya. So, Total Physical Response is a language teaching method built around the coordination of speech and action. It attempts to teach language through physical activity. And so when we teach with VIPKID, TPR is one of the most important ESL teaching strategies. It can really encourage a student to not only learn the English language, but retain it as well. It makes learning English fun and engaging. And so when we teach with VIPKID, there are 2 types of TPR. So we have instructional TPR and educational TPR. And so I want to dive into what those 2 types of TPR are and the difference between the 2. And so what they are, educational TPR is teaching something and the student responding to an action to internalize new knowledge. And then instructional TPR is using actions to get a response from a student, whether that is a written response or a verbal response. So TPR is so important for ESL learners. We can teach vocabulary words, sentence frames, phrases, verbs. We can teach that to them. But it's going to be way more effective if we are using things like educational TPR and instructional TPR. We are going to jump in and start with educational TPR. So remember, that's teaching something and the student responding to an action to internalize new knowledge. And so I'm going to give you some examples of educational TPR. So let's say that I am teaching my student the word ball. So I'll get them to say it, ball. This is instructional TPR. And then I'll model. This is educational TPR. Ball. Instructional TPR. And then I might bring the prop, ball. Yes. And so my objective is to teach them ball, but then also teach them exactly what the ball is. And so when I do this, I really am going to encourage my student to do the same thing. And a lot of times my students will do the same thing, or they will go to their surroundings and they will find a ball, which is great. They've made that connection to their world and English. And so that is perfect. So after I teach them ball, I'm trying to teach them a sentence, so I'm going to teach them another word. So I'm going to work on throw. Throw. Instructional TPR. And then I'll pretend I have a ball. Throw. Throw. And then I might bring the ball and I might throw. And so I've done instructional TPR when I do this, but the educational TPR was when I modeled ball and when I modeled throw. And so now I want to teach them the sentence, I throw a ball. And so again, I'm going to use that educational TPR to help them learn this sentence. So I'm going to say, I throw a ball. And then again, instructional TPR when I bring it to my ear. So I, educational TPR, throw, educational TPR, and that's instructional because I'm pointing, that is an article. I'm pointing to my mouth because I just want them to know that that's a separate word. A ball. I throw a ball. And so I want my student to act out that whole sentence. And then again, that helps them internalize it and they remember and have that new knowledge. So that is an example of educational TPR with some instructional TPR mixed in with it. So we're gonna segue on into instructional TPR. So instructional TPR, remember, is using actions to get a response from a student, whether it's a verbal response or maybe a written response. And so some examples of that is some, when we want to get a verbal response from our student, ear cupping, that's a big one. And then I might do finger counting. So I throw a ball. Yes. And so some more is we'll point to our mouths when we're saying a word or a group of words, and I can count them as well. So I'll say, I throw a ball. And so those are instances of instructional TPR where I want to get a verbal response from my student. And then some others, so a lot of our lessons with VIPKid, we have where they'll draw on screen, they'll draw lines, they'll draw circles. So for those, I will say, draw a line, or I might grab a marker and use a prop. Draw a line, might draw it on my hand or grab my tablet, draw a pretend line, because of a lot of our students use tablets for their lessons. And then same for circle, circle. If I want them to circle a ball, circle the ball. Circle. So I'm wanting them to circle on screen. So I'll model that for them. Another one, our interactive slides have a drag and drop feature. And so another thing, when I want a student to drag and drop on a slide, I'll say drag and drop. Again, I might pull out my tablet and I might drag and drop. And then of course the mouse is another good one. Drag and drop. You can also use that for line and circle. So those are just some instructional TPR methods for getting those non-verbal response, but we want to get that action from them on screen. So those are some examples of how we use educational TPR and instructional TPR in our VIPKid classroom. Most of what we have talked about so far has been educational TPR and instructional TPR for our lower level students. So I do want to cover what we do for our upper level students. So like students level 4 and 5. We don't have to do so much educational TPR with these students because they have a really good English foundation. They've probably been taking English lessons for about 2 years at this point. And so they don't need, what does she play with? They don't need all of that. So the majority of the lessons will focus more on instructional TPR. And so that's things like arrows, when you draw an arrow on a screen, marking where you want a student to read, or circling a picture, circling vocabulary. So those are some of the things that I use for our upper level students. They don't have those drag and drop features. So for upper level, do not worry so much about educational TPR. You still can, if you find a situation where you need to kind of act something out to kind of help your student along, or just make class more fun. For example, I taught a level 4 student today, and we were talking about slow, and so we were like acting out, moving slow, and it was just fun. And then we started talking about other things that move slow. And so you can use educational TPR with level 4 and level 5, but it's not as important. You'll just want to focus more on the instructional TPR part, and that's just to help your student know what to do on each slide and where to begin and where to look. So that's what I use for my level 4, level 5 students and beyond, really. First and foremost, that whatever we're doing, whether it's educational or instructional, we need to make sure that it's educational and that it serves an educational purpose. And then number 2, we need to make sure that our commands are concise and clear, and that they're not confusing, and that I'm not doing this when I'm saying a sentence, because that's going to confuse my student. I want to make sure that I do this when I'm speaking, and then when it's the student's turn, do this. So we don't want to use them at the same time, because that's confusing, that's not clear, and that's not concise. So only use one at a time unless you're doing finger counting while you're saying a word or a phrase, but don't try to get a verbal response from a student while you're speaking or while you're acting something out. You want to wait. So make sure your commands are concise and clear. And then also that they're clearly modeled and clearly spoken. A lot of times applicants just say drag. And that could be effective, but drag and drop. And then sometimes people say circle ball. Well, that's not a correct sentence. So we want to still make sure that we are grammatically correct. So I always say circle the ball, because our students have a tendency to leave out articles. They don't like them. And so we need to make sure that we are modeling things correctly for sure. So I'm going to jump on in and I'm going to let you guys see some footage and some real life examples of educational TPR and instructional TPR with some of my amazing students. So please enjoy.
Good. Point to the red flower. Point to the red flower. Good. Point to the yellow flower. Yes. Say, I can point.
I can point.
Good. Circle. It is yellow.
This is yellow.
Good. It is yellow.
It is yellow.
Yeah. It is yellow.
It is yellow.
Good job. Uh-oh.
Oh my God.
Angry.
Angry.
Angry. Oh. What is this? Is this angry?
No. Heidi.
Oh. Oh, you're trying to make her. Oh. You are funny. Okay. I know my sister is
angry.
Yes. Good job. I know my sister is angry.
I know my sister angry.
angry?
Angry.
Very good. Okay, can you find the domestic animals?
A pig.
A pig, yes.
A chicken.
Uh-huh. Bless you!
And the dog is a domestic animal.
Good. So, what do chickens give us?
Chicken give us eggs.
Good. Chickens give us eggs. Oh, bless you again. Say, chickens give us eggs.
Chickens give us eggs.
Yes, they do. Good job. Okay. What do pigs give us?
Pigs give us pork.
Very good. Yes, they do. Good. What do dogs give us?
Dogs can help the blind man to walk.
Yes. And do dogs make us happy?
Yes.
Yeah, so you can say dogs give us joy.
Dogs give us joy.
Yes, my dog gives me joy. He does. Good job, Candy. Okay, let's read food from animals.
Mike's grandparents live on a farm that he visits every summer. Mike lives in a city, but he likes to visit the farm because he loves the animals. His parents do not let him have pets, but Mike likes dogs very much because dogs are friendly to people and they can help the blind people to walk. Every day, Mike assists his grandmother with collecting chicken eggs. Mike also helps his grandfather herd the sheep and feed the ducks. The pigs have a strong smell, so Mike stays away from them.
Very good. All right, so why does Mike like dogs very much?
Because dogs are friendly to people and they can help the blind people to walk.
Yes, very good. Wow, perfect answer. Okay, Candy, if you had a farm, what animals would you like to have on your farm?
I like to have chickens, ducks, pigs,
And pigs. Why?
because they are yummy.
They are yummy. Excellent.
Guys, I hope that you enjoyed watching some live footage from my classroom and that you found today's video really helpful. And if so, and you haven't done this already, I asked you at the beginning of this video, but this is me coming at you one more time. Please go on ahead and subscribe to my channel. This is video number 2 of many on ESL teaching strategies, and I'm really excited about this series. So please go on ahead, subscribe, hit that bell button, and then if you are interested in getting some more information from me, I really want to help you. So my email is here below. If you have questions, comments, concerns, please email me. I would love to help you out. And if you are finding this video and you have not yet applied to VIPKID, but you would like to, I would love to be a referral and I would love to help you through this process. You can find all of that information down in the description box below. But if you do use my referral link, which is down there, please send me an email. That will give you access to me as your referral, my freebies, my free coaching, and me as your personal cheerleader all along the way, even beyond becoming a VIPKID teacher. I will never leave you, okay? I will never abandon you. That's not what I do. Okay, so thank you so much for watching today's video, and I will see y'all next time. Bye!